What's up, comic book movie family? It's the Rational Nerd. I know, at first I was the Oracular Nerd because I figured that I can prophesize and I can predict that the Fantastic Four is going to be a success. But I was wrong. And I was dead wrong. And I'm proud to admit that I was wrong. Okay? Let's take a look back at the history just for a second here. Okay? The first thing that we all have to realize is that Fantastic Four are not the Fantastic Four, I should say, are not the only film franchise part of Marvel Comics at Fox that are made to be rights grabs. The X-Men films are made to be rights grabs, but because they make them to be so, if not great for most comic book fans, even I've recognized some of the things that the films have done since I picked up some of Claremont's astonishing comic book series featuring the multiple characters that we love so much. But since the films are so decent, I believe they received like less criticism. But with this Fantastic Four film, there was so many things from the jump, the casting, Michael B. Jordan, the director, because he wasn't talking to fans. Like, I guess like what, James Gunn or whatever the freak. I mean, who cares? But I mean, I guess he wasn't making fans feel as comfortable as they wanted them to feel in regards to the overall production and etc. of the movie. Now, some of the things that he did say leading up to the movie, it was pretty spot on. Like, hey, I don't want to go out and blab about the movie. I want people to be able to see the movie themselves and judge on their own. I don't want to have to give away too much. I believe in the old tradition of handling movies, like when you just had a trailer, when you just did this, when you didn't spoil the film away. And that these are things that always are beneficial for not just comic book movies, but all movies in general. So I respected that. And I still respect Trank to this day. Do I believe that he did have a hand in making some of the crappy film? I'll get to that later. But in other words, I think that he's a pretty solid indie filmmaker. After I saw Chronicle, everybody has their own gripes about Chronicle. I don't think it was, oh my god, this is the greatest superhero movie ever. We just gotta throw this in the basket of all the... No. It was just it was a decent movie. I liked it. I liked the cast of Michael B. Jordan. I liked the way that all the other characters in the movie played from off each other, because he made you feel like as if these kids were like all, friends. It was kind of hard to believe though, the friendship that they all had, but either way, you felt character driven wise that, that these were all family driven characters regardless of where they came from. They were all like brothers. And I said, well, hey, I mean, if he made this dynamic in Chronicle, then he can also bring this dynamic to, excuse me, I just got to having some, Wingstop? Oh, gosh, I love chicken strips. But, not that all black people love chicken, but it's chicken strips, okay? I had the fries and everything to go with it. I ate steak and cheese too, but okay, whatever. It's not important. Anyway, the main thing is that, I felt like as if Trank would have, somehow brought over this type of allure of family and all this other type of stuff, action and drama. I love the drama in Chronicle. And I said, okay, well, look, I'm looking forward to more films being taken more seriously. The Fantastic Four does not need to be Man of Steel series or the Dark Knight series, but I wouldn't mind if they decide to make it a little bit more dramatic. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Tim Story movies were very colorful. And some people accept it now that they've seen a whole different other side to the Fantastic Four they never thought they'd see before. The Ultimate Comics of the Fantastic Four was also very dark. But then again, there was also, I would have to say, extremely more humor that was in those books in regards to the movie that we just saw this summer. But yeah, I really made this video, honestly, to like reply back to everybody's comments that I saw. Well, just two people. It's not like, 50 people. Let me go down the list. No, it's just two people. And that would be Super Fairy and Rye Guy 88. For Super Fairy, brother, I don't know. You said, do you think that they'll ever release a real version of the movie? I have no idea. I highly doubt it at this point because so many people had a bad taste in mouth with it. Now, I kind of thought that Fox would, because we've gotten director's cuts of X-Men Days of Future Past, director's cuts of the Wolverine, the extended Unleashed cut, and then you also had X-Men Virgins 1.5. I didn't think that they made a director's cut for X2, but, there were a few deleted scenes, whatever. But, I personally wish that they did. I wouldn't mind seeing, Trank's version that he made. I saw JoJo. I'm not calling JoJo out. JoJo's my brother. He knows it. But I saw JoJo 1982, as you guys can see. He made a comment that, some people think that Trank's version was better. Now, for me, I don't know whose version was better according to what happened behind the scenes. I read some things stating that Trank was trying to use a lot of visuals that was going to extend the studio's budget for the movie. He was throwing in all these things. I mean, even the CGI, like for the Thing, was made to be incredibly better. I think they had like some type of Oscar award winning visual artist who was working like on the things, VFX work and whatever. But once they realized that, like the budget cuts and all this other, whatever happened with the money for the movie, they had to go a lot cheaper, and that's what we ended up getting. Which you saw like the cloudy looking thing like at the end of the movie. I remember the guy Nosferatu Zod. I don't know if he's still on the site anymore, but he pointed out how there were certain scenes that looked like as if it was a PlayStation 2 game. Man, talk about harsh. But dude, Super Fairy, I was an extremely, if you think that you were a supporter, I was a worshiper of this movie because I had such faith that Fox had finally threw all of their BS to the side from all the previous years and were finally driven to give us like a good movie or a second franchise that could be just as strong as the X-Men franchise. I saw potential in the fact that they was trying to do something realistic, and I kind of thought like, hey, like the Spider-Man movies. The Spider-Man movies were realistic in some senses, not all the way, but they were still driven like towards the comic book community. And within the Fantastic Four movie, there were a lot of things that comic book fans of the 616 universe that were very upset with, like Reed being younger. Also, if you could tell, like the people who never read the comics aside from the people that did read the comics, and there were only a very small percentage of people who did read the Ultimates, and they didn't really care too much for it. Not to say the Ultimates are bad, because the Spider-Man run is pretty good, and the X-Men were okay as well. The Avengers, and we won't. That's a whole different topic. But anyway, I mean, a part of me believes that Trank did try to make the best movie that he could with what he was given from Fox. I don't know if Trank. I think that Fox may have contacted him in regards to directing the movie, and he said, "Oh, sure, I guess I can do this. It's got to doing, Chronicles, so whatever." So I guess it's like how things may have played out in regards to like him directing the movie and whatnot. Was he the perfect director for it? I would highly have to disagree. I would disagree, by all means necessary. I would strongly disagree. I don't know who the perfect Fantastic Four director may be. A lot of people like to throw names around, but we don't know what types of different versions that we can get from other people as well. But I mean, I respected like what he was trying to do with the movie, because I instantly went to the Ultimate Comics to prepare for the film, and I feel like I wasted so much money. I wasted so much money, but it's cool. I'm not gonna cry. But I did like a lot of research, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm feeling like what he may be able to bring to this movie. Some things, there were a lot of nods to the Ultimate Comics. In some cases, there were. But there were some things that people didn't like the Thing murdering people, and being this this secret government weapon towards other people in foreign countries and whatever. So some of these things were very questionable. Michael B. Jordan's acting. I love Michael B. Jordan, but to be honest, he wasn't as colorful as I thought he was going to be as the character that he played in Chronicle, who was Steve. When I saw Chronicle and I saw Steve, that's what motivated me to believe that he would be the perfect Human Torch. But in the movie, he's making like all these harsh remarks to the Thing, and they just didn't orchestrate it in the right way to make it seem like as if these people like were very united, like as a family. It's just like, hey, look, we all got things in common. Let's just work together. Like the typical BS that we see like in all other movies. So if they built up on that more and they showed different ways in which they all did become more family driven together, then maybe, we would believe. But there felt like there was so much that was left from out of the movie, which led me to believe that Trank's version, even if it wasn't as good as the version that we saw in theaters or on bootleg for most of us, at least his film, I believe, would have been more connected. We would have seen more connections in regards to his original ideas of how he may wanted things to play off of one another. I don't think that there would have been so many patches like that, like in regards to the script. And speaking of the script, the same guy who wrote the Lazarus Effect or whatever. I'm not really sure. Was it Lazarus? I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote that movie, but he was also brought on to write this movie along with Trank as a story consultant. I'm not sure. I have to go back and do my research. It's kind of fuzzy. I don't think a lot of people want to remember this stuff, but that's like one of the things that like had me a little bit worried in the beginning too. But I said, well, hey, they say that this guy's supposed to be like such a huge Fantastic Four fan, so like let's see what he brings to the table. So I mean, there were some news articles that we received here on the site like not too long ago in regards to what the original script involved, Doctor Doom becoming some force of dark matter. And I'm like, what the heck? This has nothing to do. I mean, I know that they may not be able to do some of the magic stuff because you got Mephisto and all this stuff belongs to the MCU at the moment. So I know that there are restrictions. So if you're gonna go the ultimate route, just go the ultimate route, the safest way that you can, but just in some ways add so much to it to make it seem better than the comics itself. And I think that they tried to do their own thing with the Ultimates and make it seem even more realistic, which is cool. You can make comic book movies seem realistic. The Dark Knight, that was realistic, and look how fascinating that was. The only thing was that they didn't have a universe to play with that character. And with the Fantastic Four, you only got the X-Men. A lot of people weren't having it, so things got mixed up like all together. But I mean, I mean, like, to answer the question, which I took like 50 minutes to just, respond to. I don't think that we may get a director's cut of the movie, because if we did, I think that we probably would have heard something already. I just saw it not too long ago on the Fantastic Four movie webpage on Facebook. Actually, you could probably find it there. They admitted that the DVD release would be December the 16th. I'm just guessing, but it's like December, like mid-December, like when they'll be releasing it. So I didn't see any talks of a director's cut or anything like that. It just said, be home, DVD. We pray to God that you buy this movie, please. Just help us out, please. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people's rooting for this movie to fail, and I mean, they're proud that the movie failed, but I mean, hey, things happen, destiny happens. I'm not gonna act like it was the greatest movie of all time. Everybody's being harsh. It was very horrifying how things had to play out. I didn't like some of the things, but I did like some things. The horrifying, transformations that they had in the beginning when, Bennett, and he's all this other stuff that just it felt creepy, but you just had the feeling like, hey. I remember what Trank said about these changes being so horrifying, and how do you sculpt these things to be something fantastical, like in the end. So I guess I had like so much faith in what the director was saying. I was feeling what he was saying, and it just led me to believe that this was going to be one of those miraculous movies that was just going to come out. People were going to judge it, but then when they look back, it's like, hey, that was a good movie, and now I see like where they can go once the sequel picks up. But it looks like they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. So. Raw Guy, you said Trank made a bad movie. I mean, most of that stuff I just got through talking about. I responded to both of you guys' comments like in one. So, I mean, that's that. I mean, for MCU version, I'm all aboard on it. I know that it's a franchise that the MCU can incorporate some of the comical aspects. It doesn't have to be goofy. Comical doesn't mean goofy or anything like that. But I know that it will have the humor that everybody's looking for, because this is a family movie. Families, like, I know a lot of people like to make the Incredibles reference, and that's a very good reference. So, some of those themes like from that as well. But then again, you can make it just as much a superhero movie as that is, if not even more, because there's certain realms that the Incredibles couldn't go. They weren't explorers, so to say. They were just like grounded heroes, like stuck in the same environment, and they had to work out their issues. I mean, the Incredibles, that was like a drama movie as well too. There was drama, there was marriage drama. Bob being accused of cheating on his wife with, whoever the lady was who was working for Sinestro. No, what was his name? Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's been a while. I haven't watched the movie in a while. But that's like what I'm saying is that it's a franchise that can be taken just as seriously as The Incredibles, but I know it can be just as colorful. I'm talking the costumes, the Baxter Building, and I know my eyes got to be the Baxter Building in New York. The Avengers. Oh, well, that's pretty trash. I don't think that's working anymore. There's just so many things that they can add on to it. I mean, in their cosmic realm, villains, Galactus and the Silver Surfer, including him. I'm not for him just like being thrown like into all these other MCU movies, but like a cameo or whatever that would be nice. So I mean, who am I to say? I I have like a buttload of comics. I wish I could show you. It's like a huge bucket load of comics in my which is grad? Is it my granddad? My dad grew up reading. And he has like all these old Iron Man comics, Silver Surfer comics, Spawn, Spider-Man, you know, X-Men, like you name it, like Superman, everything, like from back in the day, like in the 80s. So sometimes I flip through it and I look at things, I'm like, that's what they're talking about. Oh, I think this is Josh Trank calling me. Yeah, Trank. Yeah, the movie's not doing so well, man. What do you want me to tell him? All right. Bye bye. Yeah, you guys don't want to know what he said. Let me stop. All right, I'm just bull crapping around now. But in all honesty though, I know what you guys want. I really do hope to see like the Fantastic Four in the MCU. If it happens, then so be it. If not, hopefully Fox can make a better movie. At this point, that's not even in the question. That's not even in the answer. So, I mean, we'll just have to like wait and see like how things play out. But the good thing I will say is that everybody knows how bad this movie is. Fox knows how bad this movie is. It's been so bad that it makes the older films look entirely better. And that's a bad thing because that's exactly what they wanted to avoid. They wanted this movie to be more praised, you know, more acclaimed by the general, well, I don't know if they were trying to aim at the general public, but audiences, I'll just say audiences. Because that could apply to anybody. So, well, general public, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm a little tired. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up before I just start saying retarded stuff, which I probably already have. I'm going to just go ahead and finish this probability homework. The Ambassador, I know you want me to make more vids, man. Today, I'm making the vid. I'm going to see if I can do some other stuff once the semester's over. But always, man, y'all my family. Stay cool. Don't troll each other to death. And try not to kill each other in the meantime, alright? Alright. Peace.